Today I'll explain water fasting. Water fasting is a very effective weight loss diet, so to speak. Some people will try it, most will fail. Before you do it, again, make sure to do every amount of research that you can. It is very rigorous, it is very intense, and you can die. More people have died from this than people that have success from it. You have to be careful who you listen to. Most people will tell you not to do it. Doctors will tell you not to do it. Personal trainers will tell you not to do it. I have done it multiple times for the past few months. My first water fasting, I went 37 days doing my water fasting. It is dangerous. It is very dangerous. It is something that you have to be dedicated to and something that you take very serious with your health. Now, when doing this, yes, it is by far, my opinion, the most effective, fastest weight loss treatment. I lost 60 pounds in 1 month doing this. But there's this thing that where you go back to where it's called refeeding. That is whenever you start to eat again. In doing so, most people that fail, that end up in the hospital, that end up dying, they end up not caring what they eat. They go straight back to eating how they were. Fast foods, junk foods, sugary foods, greasy foods, all that. You can't do that. When you water fast, your stomach shrinks. And by refeeding, as soon as you eat something, that whole day is one of the most painful, worst days you will ever endure, because your stomach and your mind will keep telling you that you are hungry, even though you aren't. It's just that your body is sucking the nutrients out of the food. So your body wants you to keep eating and eating and eating. And by that, you end up getting sick because your stomach has shrank so much and you're trying to force food into your stomach where it's not possibly being able to be put because of the size. And by doing so, you can go into cardiac arrest. You can have a heart attack. That almost happened to me whenever I started my first water fasting. But I did my research on it. And I knew the symptoms, I knew the problems, and I knew the solutions. Your heart rate will significantly increase. Your chest will tighten. You will get numbness and tingling in your body. You won't be able to swallow. You'll barely be able to breathe. It's very painful. And whenever it happened to me, I knew immediately that I had to make myself throw up. And after throwing up, I felt better, but I still had to go to the hospital and still get IV'd for fluids and everything else. It is very, very dangerous to do. And in doing so, there's this thing called mind tricking. It's where you trick your mind into thinking your hunger turns into dehydration, where every time you get hungry, you get a craving, etc. You drink water till that goes away. And then in a few days, you won't crave anything. You won't get hungry. Eventually, you'll only start to get cravings whenever you feel dehydrated. And then you drink more fluids. With water fasting, the only thing that you consume is water, because you cannot consume calories, you cannot consume anything else. So in doing so, your body lacks a lot of minerals, nutritions, and vitamins, which is a very big problem. My first fasting, I did not take any nutritions, no minerals, no nothing. And I lost a lot of weight from it. But in doing so, I got very sick. Again, it is a very fast way to lose weight, but it's also very dangerous. You have to do all of your research on it before starting. It's a loving feeling whenever you're on it, because every time you get on that scale, you see weight loss, you see more weight loss. But you have to be careful. Your body becomes very, very sensitive to the cold, to where it can be 80 degrees outside and a wind could blow and you'll feel like it's 0 degrees outside, to where you'll be wearing jackets. That's something else you got to take seriously. You need to stock up on your vitamins, A, B, C, D, E, and K, and potassium and calcium and all that. You need to take all of that for muscle functions, brains, tissue, everything, your nerve functions. You have to take it, but you only take the powders or pills. I'm not a doctor, so this is a disclaimer that anything I'm saying is only my opinion, only my personal experience with it. Now, you have to be careful. What I did was, I didn't listen to what other people said that they did before they started. They all ate huge meals. They all just ate their best foods that they liked, their favorite foods, all of that before fasting. No, I broke myself down to where 3 days before, I was only eating 1 meal a day. In doing so, it helped my metabolism, because whenever you start water fasting, you're not going to lose weight that very first day if you're eating big meals the day before, because your body still has all that food inside of it. And it's still breaking it down, taking in the nutrition, storing it in the fat, all of that. Because when you don't eat, your body goes into survival mode. And by doing so, it stores everything into fat pockets. So you will gain fat if you eat like that. So you have to be very, very careful. This is part 1. I will go through my days, my plans, and everything else. You have to be very careful with working out, exertion, dehydration, overworking yourself. You gotta be careful how much you lift, everything. You want to keep your heart rate down, because your body can't go into shock. Anything can happen, anything can go wrong. This is a very, very difficult diet to do, to where everybody will tell you not to do it. If you're stubborn enough, you'll still go through with it. If you're smart enough, you'll do your research and you might consider it. It's all up to you. It has to do with willpower. That is the biggest thing, is to deal with those cravings, the food, the smell, everything in your day will try to break you down to eating, and you cannot do it, or you will gain weight. It's that simple. You can't do 1, 2, 3 day fasting. It's not like that. You have to do rigorous amounts of days. You have to convince yourself not to eat, not to do any of that. And it is very difficult. I'll be back.